Hi, Chris Kuzmal here. We continue to implement our linked list code by working just on elements of a linked list. And we have a test constructor. We need to do a output that indicates whether how many tests we've passed, uh, as usual. Um, so the number of passes, the number of fails. And the helpful, intelligent code generator throws in extra delimiters for me, trying desperately to help me out. Let's see whether or not this code now prints out passed one, fails zero. Okay, that's great. Let's continue now with adding more constructors. What we'd like to be able to do, well, not more constructors, more methods, more operations for our element class. But before we do that, I'm going to do something nasty and mean, and I'm going to make uh, each of the datum, each of the fields in this class private. And we're not going to explain, I'm not going to explain exactly why I do this, but this is a standard practice to make the fields, to protect the fields from being tampered with. But that does mean that in order to do anything other, that I can't, in my test case, I can't check what the key value here is. I'll get an error. The field element is not visible. Okay, so my test code now has a problem. What I would typically do is I do fe dot invoke a method called get key, and of course the method key doesn't exist. And so what I do is I make a public method, public int get key, return key, and you're like, well, why are you doing that? Why are you making life difficult for us? For simple data structure like this, for a simple class like this, it seems to be onerous, but it is a good practice going forward, and so that's why we do it. That's not really an explanation for why, but that's why we're doing it now. And so this code now, by creating the get key method, our test case still passes. We've privatized our fields. And so now what we'd like to do is we'd like to insert a new element into our a linked list. So we don't even have a linked list yet. But if we have an element and we want to put an element right after it, that seems to make sense. So we could make a public method. We could call it insert, and it would be an element, a new element. And what we could do is we could just say, okay, well, we'll just say next equals new, right? So new is a poor choice of variable name because that's a keyword in Java. So I'm going to make it underbar next, okay? And then we'll do underbar next as our new value. So the return type for insert, we can make it void, I suppose, and it just does what it's told. And so the problem with this, of course, is what if there already is a next element, right? Well, we don't want to override it. So we only want to do if next is null, then we'll do next equals the argument, next equals next. But if next ain't null, then what we want to do, really, we want to try and insert into next. Wait a minute, insert into next. The way we would do that is we would do next dot insert underbar next. That's the idea. Of course, we'll need to test this code, and we'll do that next time.